Hypnosis is a very powerful tool. I'm sure you've seen yourself and people at home have seen for themselves wonderful things we can do with hypnosis. The problem with that is, outside from a stage show perhaps or a hypnotherapy practice, the scope of where we can use it seems to be very limited. What conversational hypnosis allows you to do is to bring it into every aspect of life. We have direct versus indirect, and we have overt and covert, and that gives us a little grid system. We can have, for example, overt direct, we can have overt indirect, and vice versa, right? So what does indirect and direct mean? Direct means we're going straight after it. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. You're feeling sleepy now. You're feeling happy now. Indirect is more evoking experiences. So where direct is putting ideas into someone's mind, it's more like an indoctrination process. I take my idea, my suggestion, and place it inside you. Indirect evokes it more. Like, I wonder how you achieve this. I wonder how you experience this trance phenomenon, and so on. On the flip side, overt and covert have to do with, does the other person realize what you're doing or not, right? So Erickson, for example, was often very overtly indirect. People knew he was doing something, but just couldn't for the life of them figure out what it was, right? At other times, he would be covertly indirect, or sometimes even covertly direct. He'll tell people exactly what to do, but he's getting the conditions for hypnotic trance present, so the other people don't realize what's going on, but he's being very direct with them. So as an example, I think NLP is an example of a covert direct hypnosis school. Why? You tell people, picture this in your mind, imagine this, and if you get the hypnotic conditions right, it works amazingly well. Of course, if you miss all the hypnotic conditions, then it's a very hit and miss affair. The problem is not the NLP. The problem is whether the practitioner knows the hypnotic context, the conditions required for the unconscious to respond in that way, right? So secret hypnosis, covert hypnosis, that's just basically saying, does the person you're working with have any idea that what you're doing is hypnotic or not, right? If they do, then it's more overt. If they don't, it's more covert. These are cultural tropes. These are cultural ideas that we have, which act as a bridging suggestion, over-encompassing suggestion. And so everything you do afterwards has a better effect. So one of the things I like to say to my students is, look, if you want to take the cultural power, tap the cultural power of hypnosis most efficiently, the most powerful thing you can do is just lock eyes with someone and say, I'm a hypnotist, I'm here to help. And if you can say that with absolute congruency, absolute conviction, right, then 9 times out of 10, whatever happens next is going to have an enhanced suggestion effect, shall we say. Again, nothing is perfect, nothing works all the time, but it can be pretty powerful just on that level alone. And then there's a room with a red balloon in it. You open the door, and the only thing in that room is a red balloon. How are you going to feel when you open that door?
Scared, right?
Scared,
terrified.
Exactly. Now, let's fill that room with 1,000 different objects, and somewhere buried amongst those objects is the red balloon. You open the door, how are you going to feel now? You don't even know it's there. If you don't know it's there, how are you going to fear it? And if you get a hint of it, there's so much other stuff drawing your attention away that you don't necessarily have that fear. So for me, I'm not a fan of removing choices, like removing the fear, like removing the fear of the red balloon. I'm a fan of adding choices. You can feel 1,000 different ways about that red balloon, one of which is fear, because there'll be a day where fearing a red balloon might actually save your life. But no problem with that, right? It's just, I want to have you make sure you have choice as to how you feel about it. I think choice is a very powerful thing to give people. When people have genuine choice, they tend to choose the healthiest path for themselves. The people who do unhealthy things are usually trapped in a lack of choice. They don't think that the healthy choices can actually work for them. And that's really not a choice at all at that point. At the most basic level, it's a communication with someone else's unconscious mind or their unconscious processes. And to the extent that communication goes well, the unconscious mind resolves the very problems that it also had created initially, right? And so I think hypnosis is harnessing belief, maybe channeling it through the imaginal, right? And thereby accessing the unconscious in a way that allows you to achieve the seemingly impossible, right? And I say seemingly because even though you can create, mystical-like experiences, these are all experiences that are inherent within us. It's part of our humanity to have these. And hypnosis is just a way of triggering what we can do anyways,